My name's Boy Nash, I'm here with GRM Daily for Opportunity Knocks to meet Wretch 3-2, man. Let's go.
Destiny is calling, is your phone up? I'm dreaming, believing, scheming and planning that one day our vision will be.
Yeah, so the reason I'm here is just, obviously I'm an artist. I'm not at the start of my journey, I'm in the middle of my journey to, getting ready to peak. And I kind of want to just pick Wretch 3-2's mind on certain things, you know what I mean? I have my team, we've discussed things, but I just want to pick his mind and see what his opinion is or his say on certain questions I have. Like, I have certain things that have been on my mind, and I feel like his art and my art are similar to a certain way, but he should drop gems definitely that I can pick up on. So whatever resonates with me while we're having our conversation, I'll just run with that, really.
Boy Nash, Wretch 3-2. It's like an open conversation to me.
Yeah.
For everyone to see. Basically, to start off, obviously I would like to commend you on what you've done in it for the scene, innit? Like, you've done a lot for the scene. Obviously, we won't get into that because we know what you've done in it.
Yeah.
With regards to Boy Nash now, who is Boy Nash? Like, with me, I like to term myself as a creative linguist in terms of I specialize in poetry and rap.
Okay.
But when it comes to rap, like, as a normal person, I'm calm, I'm cool, I'm laid back. But when it comes to rap, there ain't a rap out of fear. My first question, which I wanted to pick your brain, was, I feel like listening to you and listening to how you rap, you have a message in it of what you say. And I'm an artist. Like, with me, I'll never compromise my art. Like, I have a message that I have to say, and it has to be lyrical. I'm a spitter. Like, simple and short, I spit. Like, that's what I do. So how do you market that and put me, like, how do I build that fan base or get into the scene without compromising my art? Because I don't want to compromise my lyricism. Like, that's what makes me feel like I'm sick. Like, when I rap, I'm sick. So
I don't think you should compromise, man. I think at a time where right now everything's almost very turn up based.
Exactly.
And it's just with it, get it, but sleep with it, get it, Like, it's very the game's going down that direction, and I think even if you look at like what kind of happened in America, like I hate to always go to that, but they are a couple of years ahead of us in certain aspects.
Yeah.
But like, you look at the whole turn up thing was happening over there, then like it enabled like your J. Cole's to kind of shine and come through, because he's not doing that, and you have to come to him for that, or your Kendricks, because Kendrick's a man, he would dibble and dabble into it, but that isn't solely what he's trying to do. You get what I mean? And it makes them look like they're doing something mad unique, because if you're hearing 100 turn up songs, but you're only hearing one song where the guy is just spitting from front to end, and then it's a story, and then it sounds epic, and there's all these atmospheric sounds in the background, and then bam, and then the song stops, and the guy died, or you know what I mean? It's that dramatic feel, and I think that's what's making them stand out. And like someone like yourself, I don't think it's about compromising. Like, I hate to always talk about myself as an example, but I will do it this one time.
Yeah.
But just like what I touched on earlier with when we done the video to a song called Punctuation, I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Yeah, I know about that.
But that worked because at that time in grime, it just wasn't happening for me. And I was going to the raves and standing with my mates, and I might spray something on the mic, but I'm not going to spit a hook. I got a verse, so I'm spitting a verse, but it's too much because they just want to hear punch you in your face, knock you out, no, knock you out. Like, they just want to hear that, and then I'm spitting, and then someone's taking the mic off me and going, and then everyone's going crazy. So it makes me look like what I'm doing is wrong.
Exactly.
So what I took from that was, I realized this isn't my arena. I need to come around this. Like, I'm not going to be appreciated here because people just want to, like, they want like that aggressive vibe, and that's what they like, which is no fault to them. It's just not what I'm delivering. So I had to maneuver, and I thought, let me shoot an artistic video to one of my most clever written songs and present that to the TV. So it presents me as an artist, and it presents me different. So it's like, okay, we have to look at this guy in this regard now. And now, that way, I automatically was in a lane of my own. And that's really what helped me just excel after that.
So you're saying kind of staying in your own lane, because I feel like at shows,
Yeah.
my team and me, we're appreciated. Like, we shut down these shows like, yes, Boy Nash. But with regards to the online presence, I've had things where I've put it on Link Up, right, and I've done a tune called Destiny. It's like spoken word rap, and it's some weird sort of, and it's just been like, alright, 100 likes, 1 dislike, no comment. Like, okay, it's like we don't get what you're doing. I would have something like on Destiny where it would be, I'll come with poetry. I like, driven by the force of abundance in this lonely dungeon, tortured by the desires of success. You see, we drive towards an endless end. That's like 2 bars, and people wouldn't get that. But then if I came like south of the river and Rutledge, he was a rebel, had a bora like a warrior, he will poke you on the level. Yeah, it's lyrical, but it's the content, and they appreciate that more. So would you say keep both lanes?
If I was you,
it's confusing for me, to be honest.
Like automatically there, like you got a concept there. Like, see, I kind of just look at everything conceptual, and that's sick. Like if you wrote if you wrote a song, yeah, like you might have one, but if you write a song, like if you like literally saying the same thing in different ways, just to almost not show people how the ignorant areas, but it's like a creative spin on it. So it's like you do what you've done there, but you say the 2 bars in like the hood way, and then you say it in the poetic way, and then you say another 2 bars in the hood way, and then you say it in the poetic way, and then you keep doing it, and you mirror it, and you mirror it, and you make the video split screen. So where on this side you're just seeing that thing, and then on that side you're seeing the complete, like the artistic side way of it, but it's the same thing. And then you can even at the end of the video you can even walk into the other one, because what you are saying is the same thing, but you're saying it in 2 different ways.
Yeah, in different ways.
I'm saying, just to show people, like, I'm still talking about that, but I'm just saying it like this. You get what I mean? And I think it's just like, I think now the game's just gone so mad viral and mad cool, and I think it's about, like, there are like sites and platforms that are like, there's some platforms that if I do a freestyle on, it's not gonna get more views than someone else that's talking that way. But do you know what it is? I take that and I accept that and I take it for what it is. But I'll still go on it and do it, because my thing is always about skill, innit? And I'm trying to show how skillful I am and whatnot. So I think you have to do that. That's important. But what's equally important is you can't sell chicken in a vegetarian shop.
Deep.
You get what I'm saying? You just have to understand it's just not going to sell. So you have to understand where you're putting your chicken. So sometimes you have to go with the site that is trying to show more creative people. You have to go with that. You get what I mean? But you have to understand that if you go on the other one, it's going to get less views. Like, I'm not the most viewed artist by far. Like, I don't get millions of views on all my things. Never. I never have. Punctuation ain't hit 1 million, but that song took me to almost every single unit in the country, because I went to the schools to talk to the kids that were thrown out of school to get them back into school because of that song. You get what I mean? But it's still like, probably 500,000 views. It's been on there for years. But you have to understand what it is. Like, I understand why I don't go or have 11 million views, because on the bigger scheme of things, more people understand that.
So
you get what I'm saying? You just, because sometimes you sound like you're similar to me, where you can be hard on yourself. And it's like, wow, ain't they listening? Why don't they?
What am I doing wrong? It does get jarring. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you know what you can bring to the table, but no one, like, people see it, but I feel like people see it, but they just don't want to talk about it, or it's not really recognized at a certain level. So is that something you deal with in terms of just like what you said, take it as it is and just keep on moving on?
I swear to you, take it as it is, man. Like, quick story, one day bumped into Mr. Hudson, and I can't remember what it was that I was ticked off about, and he just said to me, bro, you will prosper when you understand and take everything for what it is. Like, he was explaining to me a story about how he went over to America to work with Kanye on this album. And he was there for only 7 days because he had to come back. And he was like, on Monday we went and played basketball. On Tuesday we went and sat in a strip club. On Wednesday we went and done this. On Thursday, and I'm like, yo, we need to get in. That's what he was saying. And he was like, then on the last days, like, Kanye said to him something like, you've been pissed off all week, innit? And he was like, yeah, because I thought we was gonna do it. And he was like, yeah, but you have to understand that it happens when it's time. And then they done Supernova, and he gave him the verse and etc. and the rest is history. But basically, it's so mad to say, but try not to be too disheartened.
Yeah.
And just take it for that. Like, just understand. The more you understand that, okay, that's just gonna be that. Like, I do it on purpose. Like, I'll put something somewhere knowing this ain't gonna get a lot of views on purpose. But I'm gonna give it to you anyway, and you're gonna watch it and just take it, and I'll just leave it there, and then just move on. Like, no one's gonna shoot you down for it. Like, when you step back and look in, you probably think there's probably songs on YouTube now that are probably in your top 10 best songs of the year or of all time.
Yeah.
That's got 2,000 views.
It's true.
Do you care that it's got 2,000 views?
No, I listen to it.
No.
Like Big Crit, I'll be telling people about Big Crit. People are like, who the hell's Big Crit? I'm like, you sick? What do you know about Big Crit? But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying, and then what happens is, you're the artist that you're telling people about Big Crit, but you're that artist that someone is telling the other person about, because they can't understand why this is so good, but it's only got 1,000 views, and that was me, and that's you.
That's what I am,
and that's what you have to understand. But then when it grows and it grows and it grows, it lasts longer, man.
Yeah, definitely.
It lasts longer.
Like, you know when you use a channel, right, and you get your fan base up, and you get views. So you use a channel and you get 100,000 views, and you use your channel and you get 2,000 views. How do you identify your fans? Because 100,000 views on maybe, let's just use maybe a channel like SB, GRM or Link Up, 100,000 views, they might not be your fans. They might be people browsing through music, and on your channel you're getting 2,000 views. But then when you talk to people, they're like, no, you have to be on that channel to be seen. That's where A&Rs are going. That's where this is going, and you kind of get confused. So how do you kind of identify your fans and keep that contact? You know what I mean?
Do you know what? Do you know how I look at that? I look at that like, imagine H&M was only in Brixton. Yeah. It just had one shop, which was in Brixton. And then everyone who likes H&M just goes to that one shop and just going and going. That's when they can monitor exactly who's coming in, what's spending what's selling more than the other items.
Yeah.
When H&M is in central London on every corner, they're getting the opportunity of browsers. Do you understand? So you're getting someone that went to go Foot Locker, walked past H&M and said, oh, hang on, I like that, and walked in. But they came up here to go Selfridges and they walked past and they said, oh, hang on, there's a sale, and walked in. They're getting the opportunity of browsers. Okay. And I think like when you're on the other sites, you're getting the opportunity, like, you know, videos come up on the side, or it might click here and then you click onto it and stuff like that. It's almost impossible to gauge, like, in terms of the browsers, but it is important to be there, because if H&M was only on its own site, there's two ways you can look at it. If H&M was only in Brixton, it would know exactly how much it's going to sell and exactly who it's selling to. But it might only be this much.
Okay, so...
But if it's in central London, it might be this much, but it don't know who the fuck's coming in, from when not. It just knows that it's probably it's going to sell. It's more likely, do you know what I mean? And it's more likely that on that site you'll be viewed more. But it just depends what type of artist you want to be.
I feel like with my style, I don't know, I feel like a cult following would be the best for me, because I can't please everybody, because some of the stuff I'd say might fly over people's heads and be like, nah, we don't want to listen to that now. We don't want to think, we just want to chill in it. So I don't know, I just feel like a cult following would be good for me. But you seem to be left, but you kind of you got love though. You get love. There was a period where you just had mad love, like regardless of what you did going left, or you know what I mean. So I don't know, is it just the stars aligned for you, or is it?
Yeah, it's funny. I was just about to say that, because if I'm honest, like me and my manager, if he was even in there now, we were saying the same thing. Like, our thing was, that was the lane I wanted to go down. Like, I was going to Jazz Caf to watch Kalashnikov. I was going here to see Jest. I was going places, Skinny Man, etc., to see these people with these coats. And I was saying, man, this is where we need to be. This is where we can fit in. But then one day, like, not even one day, like, I suppose like after the success of Trapta, I kind of stepped back and looked in, and I thought, was I saying that because in fear of trying to get to the Champions League and failing? Or is this really where I want to be? Like, do I want to be bigger? Am I capable of being bigger? Can I write Ed Sheeran thinking out loud? Can I write a 6 words? Can I do that? Yeah.
Okay.
So should I not do it to stay here to be perceived as cool, or like, bro, like if you're like, I'll look at it like how skillful you sound like you are. You could be Messi, but do you want to play Sunday League?
I hear what you're saying.
Like, or do you want to go and win the World Cup? Do you want to win the Champions League? Do you want to win La Liga? Do you want to win the Premiership? I want to win the Premiership. I want to win the World Cup. I want to win everything. But I have to know how I can do it. But I'll be honest with you, like that's my mentality. And you might think, do you know what? I want to just be able. Your goal you might say to yourself, I want to do Shepherd's Bush Empire once a year for 15 years. And you can have a goal and you can stick to that, and you can think, your goal could be like, I want to do Shepherd's Bush, then I want to do Hammersmith, then I want to do O2 Arena, then I want to do fucking Wembley Stadium.
Yeah.
But it's just, you have to decide
what you want,
and not what you. Okay, we all kind of have to know what we would settle with, like what you would be happy. No, I wouldn't say settle because it's not settling. What you would be happy with.
Yeah.
But what if you pushed yourself? I'm pretty sure Lewis Hamilton could have just been a go-karter.
Yeah, but you gotta push yourself. Yes.
You know what I mean? And if he didn't want to just go that, but there'd be 99 people that want to win the F1, but there might actually genuinely be one person that just says, you know what, I just want to win the go-kart championship. And if you're that person, be that person and be content with it. But if really you want the Grand Prix, then you have to go. You have to go
make those records.
You know what I mean? You have to go for it. And it don't mean selling out, it just means
being smart.
Being cleverer. Yeah, being more smart. Yeah, that's what I genuinely believe.
Product life cycle of artists in the UK. Like, I've looked at it and I've noticed a lot of artists don't last long in the UK. Compared to America, you got artists with 10, 12 albums, but in the UK it's like 1, 2, then 3, then they're done. Then they kind of, how do you maintain your level in terms of the fans still liking you and you not being the number one guy? And how long can you peak for, you know what I mean? So, because obviously as an artist, you know, you peak and then you kind of stable and then you kind of fall a bit.
Yeah.
So how do you peak and like, how do you maintain yourself through those periods? Because you're used to being at the top, and the next minute you're not the people's champ no more, and it's you're down. You're not down, but you're just stable. How does that affect you, and how do you cope with that with regards to?
I think you have to be the best at what you do, and I think you have to be prepared to go left. And I think in today's day and age, it's survival of the genius. I think back in the day it used to be survival of the fittest, like who can consistently record and who can consistently do this. But I think now it's survival of the genius, and I believe you have to know when you got to make a little swift. Like I kind of feel like sometimes I get it. Most times I get it right. It's who gets it wrong the least.
Okay.
I feel like you just have to know when to, like Kanye West. I feel like he's almost the perfect example.
Yeah.
Because come out the gate, straight hip hop again. Then you can feel like when he feels like, okay, cool, I want to go stadiums. Then he does the one with Daft Punk. Arenas. Then he comes over here, he does the stuff, the Mr. Hudson stuff. Then he's like, all right, cool. Where I want to go now? Let me sing because they don't think I can sing. I'll do a whole singing album. Then it's like, all right, cool. What do I do now? Let me go back to rap excellence, Dark Twisted Fantasy. Then it's like, okay, where do I go now? I've delivered rap excellence a few times, I've sang, so that's not going to be left. Let me just go strange, and just go mad, weird, where everyone don't know if they like it or not, but you have to talk about it. Then now what do you do? Yeah, I reckon now he'll come back to just like back to rap, because it's like we miss you doing that, just like on normal beats and good hooks and stuff like that.
So you got to be smart.
I think you have to know
what to do,
when to make the shift. Like.
That makes sense. So you gotta be strategic, basically.
You have to be strategic, man. Like,
so that probably answers my last question, is to do with sound. So sound can change basically with regards to your sound as an artist. Because you look at Nas maintained his sort of sound.
Yeah.
If I'm coming up, you're basically, does that affect different artists in terms of sound changing? If I wanted to change my sort of sound along the way? Because obviously there's a poetry side to me which no one knows. So one day I could come out with that poetry like, I didn't know you had that. Would that affect the fans that I have for rap, or would it sway me away? Would I have to wait for a certain time to kind of push that side out of me more, or?
Nah, I think it's good, man. I think it shows bravery. I think it shows artistry. I think it can show charisma, intelligence, passion, because I always use these weird comparisons, but just say for argument's sake, we only ever saw Messi score with his foot. And then one day, someone whipped it in and he headed it in. You're like, right, he can head as well. You're not going to be like, man, I wanted him to volley it.
Okay.
Like, do you know what I mean? It just adds another string to your bow. That's how I would look at it.
Because I always had this thing where I've had people be like, Nash, I like your poetry more, and they refer to me as a poet. But then I rap as well, and they're like, and you've got people who like my rap and they don't want to hear my poetry. But what you're saying, I think it's just releasing it in a smart way.
In a smart way, it's just how you deliver it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just how you deliver it. But bro, don't listen. Don't be afraid, man. Try stuff. Push yourself, man. Like, if you believe, you say you fair no rapper, you shouldn't. I don't fair no rapper either. You get what I mean? I shouldn't. And if I feel like I'm as good as who I think the best are, like the Kendricks or the Jay-Z's or whoever I think the best are, I have to feel like I write better than them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then, bro, we're, like, in terms, I know like rap is kind of looked down upon because the content that we use, and there's always bitches or niggas or whatever the words are. Yeah. But bro, in no other genre do you have to do all the features we have to do. Do you have to do freestyles? You have to remember, when a radio station asks me to come on and do a cover, I have to write it. A singer just has to learn it. The song that was sung and sing it in their way, which is an art in itself. But we have to write it. Like, we are consistently writing. I'm doing endless amounts of features. A week that I'm writing myself. I'm doing my tunes, but I'm writing myself. I'm writing the chorus. Bro, we are talented as fuck.
Trust me.
We don't get the recommendation or the respect that we deserve all the time. But what we can write, fam, is sick. So don't ever think that limits you in writing songs in song format. Like, simplifying something technical or a feeling, like what I done with 6 words and putting it into song format and doing it like I am a Chris Martin or I am an Ed Sheeran. That makes the Ed Sheerans and the Chris Martins turn around and Ed ringing me saying, bro, talk to me. What was you feeling when you wrote that song? Because I look at that in the vein of thinking out loud. And for me, that's why I've done that, because I want Chris to know, Wretch is there, and I want Ed knows that where I am with the pen, but I want them to know that on his day, if he wants to do that, he can. And they only know that because I've done it. So you have to do it, fam. Don't
compromise it.
Don't compromise it. Do it and push, bro. If you don't want to be boutique, bro, be Selfridges, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You get what I mean? Be H&M, bro. Be Zara. Go for it. Go for everything you want to go for. Don't let people make you feel like it happens all the time. Like, this guy's got a number 1. That's not a good thing. Are you mad? I hid my GCSEs from my mum, bro. She found them. She was embarrassed to show her friends. When I walk in that house, the first thing I see is my plaque. Don't ever make people make you feel like selling records is some corny shit. How?
Yeah, it's true.
How, bro? When my career's over, I can look back and say, this is what I achieved, children. Grandchildren. Grandchildren's children. This is what I've done. That was your granddad. That was your great granddad. That was your father. Otherwise, what am I going to show you? Yeah. Scars. I got stabbed. Bro, push, bro.
Yeah, so I just finished my little chat with Wretch 3-2 in it, and what I got from it is everyone has their own sort of plights and demons and struggles, but it's sort of universal. What you feel at the bottom is the same thing they kind of feel at the top, and what I took from him as well is a little concept with the poetry and the rap sort of thing, and I might just, actually I'm going to implement that. I don't even know what I'm going to name it, but shout out to GRM for hooking this up, man. Much love. Peace.
I'm dreaming, believing, scheming and planning that one day I'll vision.